Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another mastermind episode of Think and Grow Rich. In this lesson, we're gonna go over lesson 5, which is imagination. And first and foremost, my apologies for the delay of the last video because I don't know, I was absent for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I actually got my cat spayed, so I really had to just dedicate like 2 or 3 weeks to just taking care of them indoors, and you know, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot that required my time and attention. So my apologies. I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's begin. Imagination, the workshop of the mind, the fifth step towards riches. Here's a passage from the book. The imagination is literally the workshop of the mind, wherein all fashioned plans are created by man. The impulse, the desire, is given shape, form, and action through the aid of imaginative faculty of the mind. It has been said that man can create anything which he can imagine. Of all ages of civilization, this is the most favorable for development of the imagination because it is an age of rapid change. On every hand, one may contact stimuli which develop the imagination. Through the aid of the imaginative faculty, man has discovered and harnessed more of nature's forces during the past 50 years than during the entire history of human race. Previous to that time, he has conquered the air so completely that even birds are a poor match to him. Flying. So man's only limitation which within lies in his development of use of his imagination. He has not yet reached the apex of the development and use of the imagination faculty. He has merely discovered that he has an imagination that has commenced to use in its very elementary form. I apologize. I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so it's hard to see the words. But let's begin. So, imagination. There are two types of imagination. You have your synthetic imagination and you have your creative imagination. So, what's the difference? The difference is the synthetic imagination is a faculty in which you arrange ideas, plans, and put them together to form the imagination of it in one's itself creates nothing. Creative imagination, as Napoleon Hill mentioned in the book, is a finite mind of man which has the direct communication with infinite intelligence. So to break that down a little bit, it's kind of like your conscious and your subconscious mind. The conscious mind is only the mind where you use your logic, you use your reason, you make decisions. Whereas the subconscious mind is more of the mind that holds your actions, your behaviors, your thought habits, your patterns, your habits, your emotions, etc. So basically, the synthetic imagination is the regular imagination that you use to put plans together, ideas, etc. The creative imagination is the imagination in which we use to manifest, in which we become emotionally involved to ideas, and we use it to manifest whatever it is that we want. So let me go back to the book. How to make practical use of imagination. Ideas are the beginning points of all fortune. Ideas are products of the imagination. Let us examine a few well-known ideas which have yielded huge fortunes. With that hope, these illustrations will convey definite information concerning the methods by which imagination may be used in accumulating riches. So let's say this, look. Let's say that you have a desire, going back to chapter 1, desire to, I don't know, let's say you want a house in front of Malibu. Let's say you want to own a house in front of the Malibu beaches. What you would do is you literally, with your imagination, you plant a seed You plant a seed, and that seed, once it's planted, it will begin to take form. You know, a seed doesn't just grow overnight. If you go to your garden right now and plant a seed, it's not going to grow overnight. So what you got to do is, over time, you got to plant that seed. You have to water that seed, make sure it gets enough sunlight, and consistently over time, that seed, once it begins to take root in the ground, it will start to grow. But it doesn't happen overnight. It will take time. And so imagination, you want to imagine what it is that you want. Imagine your desires, your number one biggest desire that you have. You imagine it. Imagine it and become connected, become emotionally involved with the idea that you have. Through the repetition of imagining, thinking about it, constantly visualizing and imagining what it feels like to have it already, then you will manifest it. So imagination, desire equals thought impulse, and thought impulses are forms or types of energy. So what are you imagining? Are you imagining something good or something bad? Because whatever it is you're imagining, you are planting a seed which will eventually one day take form into physical reality. You have to remember that everything is energy on this earth. Your thoughts are energy. When you desire something, you're putting out energy. So are you putting out something of a high vibration, or are you putting out something of a low vibration? You have to become consciously aware to these things because they are massively important, and they absolutely play a role in what you manifest every day. See, the law of attraction, we're always using it. We're always manifesting because we're vibrating, and when we vibrate, we create, we manifest. But are you vibrating? Are you attracting good, or are you attracting bad? Be aware of that. Napoleon Hill said, and I quote, "Riches, when they come in large quantities, are never the result of hard work alone. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands based on the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck." Imagination plus enthusiasm equals success. So basically, again, the secret: imagination plus feeling it plus becoming emotionally involved with having it, becoming emotionally connected to what you desire, will bring or manifest the result. So what are some key points to know? Some key points to know this chapter. Thoughts or imaginations are a form of energy that will eventually manifest if held in the mind often enough. Whether they are creative thoughts or destructive thoughts, they will manifest. Of course, through repetition. Every thought or idea holds its own frequency, that being high or low frequency. So like I mentioned earlier, what are you thinking of? Are you thinking bad thoughts, or are you thinking good thoughts? You think bad thoughts, that's a low frequency. You think good thoughts, that's a high frequency. And I don't mean just thinking like happy or positively. No, I mean like what's constantly going through your mind. What are you constantly imagining? Are you imagining failure and doom, or are you imagining joy and success? You're either vibrating low or vibrating high, or you're probably just mutual and you're not moving anywhere. Every thought or idea holds its own frequency, that being high frequency or low frequency. So do not forget that. It's very important. Use your imagination or think thoughts that are in direct alignment with what you desire. That's also very important. You cannot desire 100 different things at once. It's just not going to happen. So you're either thinking of multiple imagination thoughts that are aligned with your big goal, or you're not. Example, let's say I wanted to become, I don't know, let's say I wanted to play in the NFL. I wanted to play football. So, but I also at the same time wanted to become, I don't know, let's say a speaker or a doctor. I mean, obviously they don't align with one another, because if I'm playing in the NFL, I'm going to be there all season. I'm going to be there busy. I can't be a doctor at the same time. Simultaneously, it does not work. So a better idea would be I don't know, say you're working in your business, you're working in a network marketing business or real estate. Let's say all the thoughts have to align with your ultimate desire, the big goal. If they're totally contrary and they're totally different, it's not going to work. You have to make sure they all align to the number one biggest desire you have. And lastly, be consciously aware of the thoughts you think every moment of every day. If they are not what you want to manifest, replace them with the desires that you do want. Again, it's consciously being aware of what you want versus what you don't want. And what's the example here? The example that I would share to you regarding this chapter. Use your imagination to visualize what it is that you want most than anything else in life. Visualize this as often as possible. See the end result as if it's already real. So what I mean by this is take as often as possible throughout the day and visualize. Really, really visualize in detail. Don't just see it through someone else's eye. See it through your own eye. See it in detail. Use all your sensory factors. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Really connect all those sensory factors into the visualization process, because the more real it feels in your mind, the faster you will manifest it. Like Bob Proctor says, if you can see it in your mind, if you can live it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So really, really take some time throughout the day. Take 30 minutes, take 40 minutes, whatever. You have to space it out, or if you want to do it all together, I highly recommend you guys space it out. It's much easier. But really, really dedicate yourself and see the endless possibilities of what you can create using your imagination. So with that being said, guys, I really, really, really appreciate it. Once again, I'm sorry for the delay, but I'm back. I'm ready, and let's go. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate your time, and I will see you guys next week.